Boom! The machine illuminates. Music blares, sirens wailing. You've just secured a $50,000 jackpot playing Wheel of Fortune. Your heart hammers in your chest. Your hands tremble. This is the culmination of years of hoping. However, former casino staff are now disclosing crucial information. The very instant those celebratory bells sound, a complex chain of unseen actions is triggered backstage. Occurrences most gamblers remain completely unaware of, and some revelations might genuinely stun you. From cameras instantly focusing on your face, to databases scrutinizing your history and hidden security measures, the casino executes a precise, calculated response to your massive payout. This presentation will unveil industry secrets shared by individuals who spent decades employed in casinos, secrets concerning the true events unfolding in the minutes and hours following a jackpot hit. We will cover the authentication steps, the required tax procedures, the surveillance, monitoring, and, yes, even the inherent risks associated with departing the premises laden with a huge sum of money. Regardless of whether you've previously won a jackpot or are still pursuing that colossal reward, these insights could fundamentally alter how you approach your next casino visit. Therefore, let me pose a direct question right away. Have you ever won a prize exceeding $200? If your answer is yes, please share the precise amount below. I'm keen to learn about the actual winnings. People are scoring. Let's now jump into the immediate aftermath. What unfolds the second those victory bells chime? We begin with the first 60 seconds, detailing the hidden activity. During that initial minute following the jackpot, you are likely fixated on the display, perhaps yelling in excitement or stunned into silence. Yet, while you absorb the reality of your success, the casino's operation is already fully engaged. A former slot machine technician disclosed, the exact moment a jackpot surpasses a specific threshold, typically $200, the device instantly transmits a signal directly to the monitoring center. This is not simply a heads up, it's flagged as a critical priority alert. In mere seconds, cameras pivot into position. They capture multiple perspectives: your face, your hands, the game display, every detail. What is the motivation? Here is the information management will deliberately omit. They must confirm the win did not result from a technical failure. They must authenticate that you are the legitimate player. They must log precisely who activated the spin button. Furthermore, they must meticulously record all aspects for potential legal challenges down the road. A former surveillance operator who was employed at several Las Vegas establishments noted that when a payout occurs, the entire incident is immediately marked in their system. The monitoring team starts recording not just the winner, but also every person surrounding them. They are looking out for anyone who might falsely claim to have been playing. They monitor for accomplices who might approach you. They scrutinize for any unusual activity. Here is a telling event that illustrates why this oversight is necessary. A patron named Robert was playing a dollar slot machine at an Atlantic City venue for roughly an hour when a friend approached to converse. Robert instructed his friend to press the spin button for good luck. That specific press triggered a $47,000 jackpot. When the slot attendant arrived, Robert's friend jokingly suggested he should receive the money since he physically pressed the button. Everyone laughed, but the casino took the comment seriously. Security reviewed the footage. They observed Robert's friend pressing the button and the subsequent jackpot. Internal records suggest The casino faced a dilemma. Should the funds go to the individual whose player's card was active and whose bankroll covered the wager, or to the person who manually initiated the spin? After an hour of debate and consulting internal regulations, they determined Robert was the rightful recipient, as the funds and the player's card were his. However, the decision wasn't instantaneous. The surveillance evidence was required to validate the claim. That is why every jackpot immediately initiates a review of the video feed. You may not perceive the cameras moving, but they are observing. Every second is recorded from numerous angles, and the scrutiny intensifies further. For jackpots surpassing $10,000, most casinos enforce a policy where surveillance doesn't merely watch, they actively investigate. A former security director at a tribal casino disclosed that they would review the preceding 30 minutes of play. They would verify the patron's betting behavior. They would check if another individual had been using the machine earlier. They searched for any anomalies, a slot technician lingering near the machine inappropriately, or a player who had walked off moments prior to the win. Any suspicious timing was noted. Why are they so meticulous? Because internal fraud is more common than generally believed. One documented instance involved a slot technician and a companion. The technician knew when specific machines were statistically ready to pay out based on maintenance records. He would text his friend, who would quickly rush over and play that exact machine. They divided the proceeds. This scheme persisted for 8 months before the surveillance team detected the pattern. They had defrauded the casino of over $200,000. So, when you secure that jackpot, realize this: you aren't just celebrating, you are also being investigated, not because they suspect you are criminal, but because the establishment must safeguard its assets. And every second of that first minute is logged in high definition. A quick inquiry for you. If you won a large jackpot and subsequently discovered that surveillance had been observing you for 30 minutes before your win, would that concern you? Or would you remain indifferent so long as you received your payout? Share your thoughts below. The attendant arrives. What their true mission is. Within 2 to 3 minutes of a jackpot hit, a slot attendant will appear at your machine. They offer congratulations, request your identification, and instruct you to remain seated. Seems straightforward, right? But former employees reveal that this interaction involves significantly more than meets the eye. The first task is to confirm that the machine has not malfunctioned. This is paramount. Slot machines can, and occasionally do, malfunction. When they do, casinos are generally not obliged to pay the displayed amount. This happens more frequently than you might imagine. A woman named Patricia was playing a penny slot at a New York casino. The screen suddenly showed a message indicating a win of $43 million. She began screaming. People converged. Attendants arrived. Security showed up. Then they examined the machine. A malfunction. The machine's actual maximum payout was $6,500. The $43 million display was an error. Patricia left with nothing. Zero. The casino offered her a complimentary steak dinner as recompense. That was the extent of it. Former slot technicians clarify that these machines possess diagnostic capabilities. When a jackpot is triggered, the attendant can access these modes directly at the machine or radio for a technician. They examine error logs. They confirm the random number generator operated correctly. They ensure the payout aligns with the game's official par sheet. Here is what is not disclosed during this process. While they are inspecting the machine, surveillance is simultaneously reviewing your play history. If you hit a $20,000 jackpot, but the surveillance video shows you had only been betting for 5 minutes with $40, that raises a flag. Not because it's impossible, but because it's atypical enough to warrant deeper examination. One situation involved a player named Dennis, who won a $15,000 bonus on a Buffalo slot after playing for only 10 minutes. Surveillance reviewed the footage and noticed an irregularity. The machine's denomination had been adjusted from pennies to dollars right before Dennis sat down. The previous player had abandoned the machine set to the dollar denomination. Dennis hadn't realized this. He believed he was betting 50 cents per spin, but was actually wagering 5 per spin. When he achieved the bonus, the payout was calculated using the dollar denomination. The casino confirmed the legitimacy of the outcome. Dennis's betting habits corresponded with someone who thought they were playing pennies. The change in denomination was confirmed. He was paid, but the entire investigation required 45 minutes. While the attendant is present, they also ask probing questions. Have you been playing for long? Is this your initial visit to this establishment? Are you accompanied by someone or alone? These inquiries sound casual, but former staff confirmed they are documenting everything. Should any dispute arise later, they need a record of who was present, what was said, and the circumstances surrounding the win. Another crucial check attendants perform is screening for exclusion lists. Every state maintains a register of individuals who have voluntarily banned themselves from gambling. These are people who enrolled in programs to prohibit themselves from entering casinos due to problem gambling. If you are on that list and win a jackpot, the casino will refuse payment. They will confiscate your winnings, and you could face criminal charges for trespassing. Former casino management staff indicates this check is performed immediately. Your ID is entered into the system. The system cross-references state and national databases. If you are excluded, the jackpot is nullified. No exceptions. One individual won a $25,000 jackpot, provided his ID, and was informed he could not collect because he was on the self-exclusion list. He had forgotten signing up for it 3 years earlier during a difficult period. The funds remained with the casino. He departed empty-handed. Here is another check attendants perform that most players are unaware of: child support and criminal restitution. In numerous states, casinos are obligated to check if jackpot winners have outstanding back child support or court-mandated restitution. If you do, the casino must withhold that amount and remit it directly to the state. You receive the remainder. A player named Marcus won a $12,000 jackpot in Colorado. When he presented his ID, the system flagged him. He owed $8,000 in overdue child support. The casino was legally required to deduct this amount. Marcus left with $4,000, minus taxes. He had no foreknowledge of this deduction. The casino furnished him with documentation showing the destination of his money, but he had no recourse. So, when that attendant approaches with a cheerful greeting and congratulations, understand that their role extends beyond merely handing over cash. They are there to verify, document, investigate, and process. And if any detail fails to align, your celebration could conclude very differently than anticipated. Before we continue, here's a question. Would you prefer to know about your outstanding financial obligations before hitting a major jackpot? Or would you rather discover the hard way when the casino confiscates the amount? Share your opinion in the comments. The paperwork nobody forewarns you about. Alright, the machine has been authenticated. You are not found on any exclusion lists. Your debts have been accounted for. Now arrives the phase that surprises most winners, the documentation. For any jackpot of $100 or more on slots, $1,500 or more on Keno, or $5,000 or more from poker tournaments, the IRS mandates that the casino issue a W-2G form. This is a tax document, and former casino cage staff reveal that this is where many victorious nights turn sour. Here is the procedure. The attendant will request your social security number. If you decline to furnish it, they are legally compelled to deduct 24% of your total winnings instantly as mandatory backup withholding. This is stipulated by federal regulation. No social security number means the casino retains a quarter of your prize and remits it to the IRS, whether you consent or not. A patron named Linda won $5,000 but refused to provide her social security number, fearing the casino handling her private details. The casino explained this was a legal requirement. She persisted in refusing. They withheld $200. Linda departed with $3,800 instead of $5,000. She phoned the next day demanding the money back. The casino clarified that the funds had already been sent to the IRS. She could reclaim it by filing her tax return and claiming the withholding, but that $200 was unavailable until tax season. Former tax compliance personnel at casinos explain that the W-2G form itemizes your name, address, social security number, the date of the win, the game type, and the amount won. This form is subsequently filed with the IRS. They are fully aware of your win. There is no possibility of concealment. You are required to declare this income on your tax return, regardless of whether the casino initially withheld taxes. Here is the detail that typically shocks winners the most. The casino withholding 24% does not guarantee you are finished with your tax liability. If your aggregate annual income places you in a higher tax bracket, you may owe additional funds when you file. One player won $80,000 on a progressive slot. The casino deducted $19,200 for federal taxes. The player assumed he was clear, but his regular job paid $120,000 annually. A combined income of $200,000 placed him in a higher bracket. When he filed his taxes, he was assessed an additional $12,000. He had not prepared for this expense and was forced to secure a loan to pay the IRS. Former cage managers also disclose that for jackpots exceeding $25,000, many establishments offer a choice: accept a check or receive cash. The choice is significant. Opting for cash means you leave with potentially tens of thousands of dollars in currency, typically 100 bills. That represents a substantial stack of paper to transport. One woman won $42,000 and insisted on cash. The casino provided her with 420 100 bills. She placed them in her handbag and exited. She was followed to her vehicle by two men who had been watching. They robbed her in the parking structure, and she lost everything. Casino security protocols advise large winners to take checks. It is safer, traceable, and if an incident occurs, the check can be canceled. But many winners are impatient. They want the cash immediately. Former security directors report that they strongly advocate for checks for anything over $10,000, but they lack the authority to enforce it. It remains your money. Another paperwork complexity that surprises winners is state taxation. If you reside in one state and win in another, you might incur tax obligations in both jurisdictions. A California resident won $30,000 at a Nevada casino. Nevada has no state income tax, so no state taxes were withheld. However, California levies state income tax. When the player submitted his California state return, he owed taxes on that $30,000. He had not reserved any funds for this, resulting in yet another unexpected bill. Former casino managers also emphasize that the paperwork process consumes time. For jackpots under $5,000, you might be finished within 15 minutes. For jackpots over $50,000, it can require an hour or longer. The casino must contact the game manufacturer. In some instances, they must verify against multiple databases. They have to process numerous forms. You will be waiting. One player who won $100,000 on Megabucks reported that the entire procedure took 3 hours. 3 hours spent sitting in a back office, signing forms, providing details, and awaiting authorization. During that time, the casino offered her a complimentary meal. She ate. She waited. Finally, they presented her with a check. But those 3 hours felt interminable. And here is a factor most winners fail to consider. Once you achieve a significant jackpot, the casino may ask if you are willing to pose for a publicity photograph. They seek to post it on social media. They want to feature you in their newsletter. Many players consent due to their excitement. However, former security specialists caution against this. Once your win is made public, you become an identified target. People know you possess money. They recognize your appearance. They know which casino you frequent. It constitutes an open invitation for trouble. So, as you sit there endorsing paperwork, remember, you are doing more than just completing forms. You are generating a permanent record, accessible to the IRS, your state, and potentially the public. Choose carefully. Question for you. Would you accept a check or cash for a $50,000 jackpot? And would you permit the casino to take your photograph? Let me know your decision in the comments. What surveillance does while you're celebrating? While you are seated in that office signing documentation, surveillance remains fully operational. In fact, former surveillance operators disclose that this phase makes their responsibilities even more critical. Firstly, they are recording everyone who approaches you, from the moment you strike the jackpot until you exit the establishment. Cameras track your movement. If an unknown person walks up to offer congratulations, that is logged. If someone attempts to solicit a loan, that is logged. If anyone behaves suspiciously near you, security is alerted. A player named Victor won $65,000 on a progressive machine. While he was celebrating, a man approached and engaged him in conversation, a seemingly friendly chat. The man claimed to be a regular and asked if Victor needed a ride home, suggesting he might have consumed several drinks. Victor accepted. Surveillance observed the entire exchange. They recognized the amicable stranger. He was a documented associate of criminals who specifically target jackpot winners. Security intervened immediately. They cautioned Victor and offered their own security escort. Victor declined the stranger's offer. 2 weeks later, that same stranger was apprehended for trailing another jackpot winner home and robbing them at gunpoint. Former surveillance managers explain they maintain databases of known criminals, advantaged players, and suspicious individuals. When you achieve a substantial win, they check if anyone in those databases is close to you. Major casinos utilize facial recognition technology. The system can identify hundreds of faces instantaneously. If a flagged person approaches a jackpot winner, security takes action. But here is a behind-the-scenes event. that most winners never contemplate. Surveillance is also monitoring your betting patterns to ascertain if you are a professional or an advantaged player. If you just won $100,000, they want to know if you intend to continue playing or if you will cash out and depart. Why is this distinction important? Because casinos prefer that winners keep gambling. Former casino hosts admit they are instructed to approach major winners and provide complimentary offers, free accommodation, free dining, show tickets, anything to keep you on the property. The longer you remain, the higher the probability you will return some of that money to the machines. One documented instance involved a player named Joyce who won $45,000 on Lightning Link. While her paperwork was being processed, a casino host appeared. Congratulations! The casino would like to offer you a complimentary suite for the evening, dinner at our steakhouse, and tickets to tomorrow's performance. All free. Joyce was delighted. She accepted. She had dinner, spent $2,000 playing more slots, then retreated to her suite. The following day, she gambled further before attending the show. By the time she checked out, she had reinvested $8,000 of her winnings back into the casino. The complimentary perks cost the casino approximately $800. They recovered $8,000. That is the incentive behind the offers. Surveillance also observes how you manage your money after payment. Are you openly displaying large amounts of cash? Are you purchasing drinks for strangers? Are you behaving recklessly? Former security directors note cases where winners became so inebriated, celebrating that they forgot money in machines, dropped currency, or became easy targets for theft. Surveillance records all of it. There is also a more cynical aspect of surveillance revealed by former employees. Some casinos retain detailed records of major winners for marketing and player development objectives. They know the exact amount you won. They know the game you played. They will specifically target you with incentives designed to bring you back. Mailers offering free play, birthday bonuses, exclusive promotions. This is not generosity. It is strategic. A former player development manager confessed that once someone wins $20,000 or more, they are placed in a special database. That player receives personalized attention, phone calls, and tailored offers. The objective is straightforward: encourage them to return and lose a portion of that prize. And it works. Studies demonstrate that a substantial percentage of large winners return to the same casino within 30 days. Many of them forfeit a significant portion of their winnings. Surveillance is also watching for another crucial factor: indicators of problem gambling. If a winner immediately resumes playing aggressively, making enormous bets, or chasing losses, some casinos will intervene, though not all. Former responsible gaming officers have explained instances where they had to approach players who won big and then rapidly spiraled downward. The casino seeks to avoid the liability of a patron winning $50,000 and then losing $70,000 during a manic gambling episode. Lawsuits have occurred. So, while you celebrate with company, while you consider how to spend your prize, surveillance is watching, recording, analyzing, and strategizing for your next moves. Have you ever felt observed in a casino? Because you absolutely were. Drop a yes or no in the comments. The moment you leave, safety protocols most casinos won't discuss. Now, let us address the time when you are ready to depart. This phase becomes critical because former security personnel reveal that the highest risk period for a jackpot winner is the transit from the casino floor to their vehicle. The first piece of information you should know is that casinos routinely offer a security escort for wins exceeding $10,000. Most facilities have policies mandating security staff to ask if you desire an escort to your car. Some players accept, many decline. They prefer to avoid drawing attention or appearing helpless. Former security guards explain that refusing an escort is one of the most significant errors winners make. A player named Richard won $28,000 at a Missouri casino. He was offered a security escort, but declined, stating he was fine. Surveillance tracked him walking to his car. Two men, who had been loitering in the parking garage, followed him. They waited until he reached his car, then approached at gunpoint. They took everything: his winnings, his wallet, his watch. Richard was physically unharmed, but financially ruined. Although the casino's surveillance footage assisted law enforcement in identifying the suspects, Richard never recovered his money. Former security directors reveal that organized crime groups specifically target casinos to identify big winners. They watch the gaming floor. They notice when large jackpots occur. They follow winners to parking structures or even back to their residences. This practice is far more widespread than most people imagine. In New Jersey, a man won $10,000 and drove home. He was trailed by 3 individuals who had been at the casino. They waited until he pulled into his driveway, then ambushed him. They held him at gunpoint and stole the money. His wife witnessed the event from inside the home. The trauma was severe. In Maryland, a woman won a jackpot and was followed home. The criminals broke into her house hours later. During the robbery, her husband was tragically shot and killed. This actually occurred. The jackpot that was supposed to revolutionize their lives ended in disaster. Former FBI agents who have advised casinos on security procedures emphasize that winners must exercise extreme caution. Here are their recommendations. If the casino offers a security escort, accept it. No exceptions. Upon reaching your vehicle, inspect the back seat and under the car before entering. If you suspect you are being followed, do not drive home. Drive immediately to a police station or contact law enforcement. One security consultant who advised multiple tribal casinos explains that surveillance should monitor the winner's vehicle until it leaves the property and should note any vehicles that follow. Some casinos implement this. Many do not. It is not legally required, but it is considered best practice. Another threat former employees warn about is social media. Do not post about your win immediately. One player won $75,000 and posted a photo on Facebook with the caption, "Just hit it big at Casino XYZ." Within hours, someone who knew his location appeared at his house. The player was absent, but his house was burglarized. They stole electronics, jewelry, and cash he had stored there. He had essentially broadcast his wealth to the world. Former casino hosts also suggest that if you win a large amount and plan to stay overnight on the property, do not return to your room with all the cash. Utilize the casino's safe deposit boxes. Many casinos provide this service free of charge to guests. You can securely store your winnings and retrieve them upon departure. However, many winners are unaware this service exists because casinos do not extensively advertise it. There is also the matter of getting home safely. If you have been drinking, do not drive. Casinos have documented multiple incidents of jackpot winners receiving DUIs or crashing their vehicles on the route home. One man won $40,000, celebrated with multiple drinks, entered his car, and collided with a guardrail 10 miles from the casino. He survived, but totaled his car and faced DUI charges. The jackpot that should have been life-altering became a nightmare. Former security personnel stress a crucial point. The casino's liability for your safety essentially terminates at the property boundary. Once you leave their premises, you are responsible for your own protection. They are not liable if you are robbed at a nearby gas station parking lot. They are not responsible if you are followed home. You must take steps to protect yourself. Here is what smart winners do. They accept the security escort. They vary their route home. They avoid stopping anywhere along the way. They refrain from disclosing the win until the money is securely deposited in a bank account. They remain sober enough to be vigilant of their surroundings, and they treat substantial winnings as though they just collected a bag full of cash from a bank, because that is precisely what they have done. Question for you: if you won $50,000, would you tell anyone? And if so, when? Drop your answer in the comments. I am curious about the true level of caution people exercise. What casinos do after you're gone? Here is a fact most winners are unaware of. After you depart with your jackpot, the casino's operation is not finished. Former marketing and player development managers disclose the subsequent actions. First, your win is logged into the casino's player database. They record the amount, the game, the date, and your player's club details. This data serves multiple purposes: marketing, player development, regulatory reporting, and trend analysis. If you won a progressive jackpot, the casino must reset the prize amount and notify the game manufacturer. For networked games like Megabucks, which links multiple properties, the manufacturer must be immediately informed. They authenticate the win, authorize the payout, and reset the progressive seed amount. For exceptionally large jackpots, this can take hours or even days. Former slot operations managers explain that following a major win, they also analyze the machine. Was it statistically due to hit based on its cycle? Had it been tight for weeks? Was the win unusual compared to the machine's historical data? This analysis helps them decide if the machine should remain on the floor or be relocated. There is also the publicity dimension. If you consented to photos and media, the casino will heavily promote the win across their social channels, website, Facebook, Instagram, email, and newsletters. They want current and prospective patrons to see that people actually win. It is free advertising, turning your face into their marketing material. But here is the less discussed aspect. Your win is also reported to state gaming regulators. Every jackpot surpassing a certain threshold is reported as part of the casino's compliance requirements. Regulators track payout percentages, frequency of jackpots, and player grievances. Your win contributes to that dataset. Former compliance officers also disclose that for wins over $10,000, casinos must file currency transaction reports, CTRs, with the federal government. This is an anti-money laundering protocol. The government requires awareness of large cash transactions. Thus, your big win generates a paper trail that extends beyond just the IRS. The Treasury Department and FinCEN are all documented. And if you encountered any difficulties during the payout process, any complaints, any disagreements, those are logged as well. If you claimed the machine malfunctioned, but the casino disagreed, that is recorded in your file. If you argued about taxes, that is noted. Future visits could be impacted if you are flagged as a challenging customer. Former casino management admits that some players are internally categorized: high-value patrons who should be cultivated, problem players who complain excessively, or advantage players who are too skillful. Your jackpot win and your demeanor during the process contribute to this categorization. So, let us conclude. If you strike a casino jackpot, remember this: luck may have placed you in that chair, but what occurs next hinges entirely on preparedness and awareness. From the instant those bells sound, you are integrated into a comprehensive system. Surveillance is watching. Databases are checking. Paperwork accumulates. Protocols are being executed. And once you step outside that door, genuine dangers commence. The truly successful winners are not those who hit the largest jackpots. They are the ones who manage the aftermath correctly. Accept the security escort. Take the check instead of currency. Do not publicize your win. File your taxes accurately. Remain vigilant traveling home. Protect your winnings because the casino fulfilled its obligation. They verified the win. They paid you. They followed the law. Now it is your duty to safeguard what is yours. So, here is my final inquiry. After assimilating all this information, would you handle a jackpot situation differently than you previously imagined? What specific measure would you implement to protect yourself? Share your strategy in the comments. And if you know someone who frequently plays slots, please share this video with them. This information could potentially save them thousands or ensure their physical safety. And one final note: this content is provided strictly for entertainment and educational purposes. Gambling must always be approached responsibly. If you feel gambling is no longer enjoyable or is negatively impacting your life, contact your local problem gambling helpline for confidential assistance. Remember, hitting the jackpot is merely the start. Your actions afterward determine whether you emerge a genuine winner or become a cautionary tale. Stay sharp, stay safe, and I will see you at the slots. Good luck out there.